guys, my name is Chantal. Welcome back to my channel and thanks for hanging out with me today. So today we're going to be talking about Haikyuu chapter 393, and I am so excited to talk about this chapter, but then again, when am I not excited to talk about a chapter regarding Haikyuu? But this week's chapter focuses on Hoshiumi, and man, what a chapter. I feel like I always say this like every week at this point, but once again, I feel like I can appreciate the character that it's focusing on, which in this case is Hoshiumi, a lot more than I did before. Because I'll be honest, like Hoshiumi isn't like my top favorite character, or honestly after this chapter he might be because like I said, I feel like I really do appreciate him as a character more than ever. And it doesn't mean that I didn't like him as a character before. Like I said, I did appreciate him before and really enjoyed him as a character, but now I'm like, I feel like I'm starting to see what everyone else is seeing in Hoshiumi that I didn't before. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense for where I'm coming from. But anyway, this chapter, what a chapter. I really like how this chapter starts off with Hirogami and Hoshiumi, and they're just like looking out at, I think, the sunset, or like basically the sky. They're looking out and it looks like they're talking about, like, you know, graduation and stuff and what they're gonna do in the future, because Hirogami starts talking, you know, how while he plays volleyball, like, it's not gonna kill anybody if he makes a mistake, but now that he's about to go out in the real world and do something that he loves, which we see that he got an acceptance letter to go to veterinary school, he now is like, well, now that I'm going into this field, you know, someone can die. And I'm just like, oh my god, like, that's kind of like scary. Another thing I do want to add that he did say in this first page was how he says that, you know, sometimes things aren't going to be okay, and he understands that now, but he knows that in the end of it he'll be fine. Like, I feel like you can apply that into real life, just what he said. And I don't know, just like hearing him say that, you know, there's gonna be times where you're not okay and that's fine, like, really stuck with me. Because honestly speaking, like, we all go through things on a daily basis that, you know, things don't go out the way that we planned, and sometimes you're gonna go through some difficult stuff and, you know, all that stuff, because, you know, life, like I said, likes to throw us curveballs, but that's okay. It's part of life. You'll get through it eventually, and, you know, not being okay is just part of that process of you, like, healing up or figuring out what you need to do. Anywho, which leads me to the next thing that I want to talk about, was regarding Hoshiumi and his height. So we know that both him and Hinata are the shortest ones on their team, but these two, especially Hoshiumi, has never truly let this bring him down, and he doesn't necessarily see it as a weakness. He kind of sees it more as a strength to help him improve and continue to go on further. It's like the thing that pushes him further, because he wants to prove everyone wrong. He doesn't want anyone to pity him and be like, oh, he's so short, like, are you okay? You're gonna make it? Like, damn, like, that's totally unfair. Like, if you were just a little bit taller. No, he doesn't, like, give a crap about that or what people have to say. And so what if he's short? He's put in the practice and effort just as much as anybody else. And there is this part in this chapter where it says, you know, tall or short, that doesn't really matter. If you practice and put in all the effort, then you're gonna get good eventually. And, you know, height doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Which leads into, like, this other thing that I really liked that really stood out to me in this chapter, where it said the world can be fair and unfair. And that gave me goosebumps when I read that. I was like, oh, like, I feel like that part anybody can relate to. Just seeing it, seeing and reading that. You can definitely relate to it in some way. And this is when Hoshiumi, like, he's about to do, like, this shot, and it goes in, and I was just like, whoa. Like, you can see, like, the way that the panel is drawn when he jumps up, and then the way that it just goes pop, like, all the way straight. Why am I making noises like Hinata and Kageyama? But anyways, that's beside the point. But just the way that I saw this panel was just, like, so cool. And man, Hoshiumi is continuing to prove why he is on the court. Why is he still standing there with everyone else, regardless of height. And that's when we see the reporter back from the spring inter high. And I did not expect to see this lady again, but I should have known better. And we have like this flashback where she's thinking about when Hoshiumi was in high school and when she tried to interview him, and when Hoshiumi was like, "You're just interviewing me because I'm short." And she starts to say to who makes a first appearance now, which was Akane, which I was so happy to see, by the way, but I'll talk about her in just a few seconds. But going back to the reporter, she does tell Akane that back then she didn't know exactly what to say to Hoshiumi, because she was like, well, shoot, am I really just interviewing him because he's short? Like, she didn't know how to answer him. And that just kind of left her completely speechless, especially hearing what Hoshiumi had to say to her. And she goes on and says like how she had like this image of him, how he was just like basically like the gist of it, like what I got was like, oh, like this is his weakness, it's because he's short, like oh poor him, like basically like what everyone usually thinks, right? And how he's fighting so bravely out there despite his height and stuff like that. But she realizes that after following his story for 6 years now, she realizes that yes, she did interview him because he was short, but she was wrong about how he was overcoming this handicap that he had. And she realizes that his height is what gives him wings. And I was like, oh my gosh. Which then we see Hoshiumi say something like, you know, that's how you fight in the air, do you guys understand? And I'm like, oh, like the way that he looks at everyone, and then seeing like this panel of him and Hinata, like their backs are facing each other, and I'm like oh my god, like Hoshiumi is such an amazing player. It's just like Akane said, he's above and beyond everyone else in terms of technique and skill, and we saw that this chapter. We saw why he is with the Adlers, why he deserves his spot on the team regardless of height. It's because of the way that he plays, and he's able to show people and prove other people wrong, that and basically teach them a lesson that hey, height doesn't really matter. If you can do it, go do it. Which really makes Hoshiumi just such an amazing character, and it's just, oh, like I really enjoyed this chapter. Because when I saw that this chapter was gonna focus on Hoshiumi, I was like, oh okay, like I'll probably won't enjoy it as much as I did. I was wrong. Furudate proved me wrong and proved me why I should love Hoshiumi a lot more than I should have, and why I should have appreciated him more as a character than I did before. Like, being short to Hoshiumi was never a disadvantage. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it with Hoshiumi in this chapter. So let's go back to Akane for a little bit, because I kind of want to freak out a little bit about her just for a few seconds, because like I was so excited when I saw her, because I did not recognize her until it said, you know, Akane on there, and I was like, hold up, like give me a second. She looks so beautiful and so cute, and she's a sports journalist, like she's an intern basically. She's in college, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I did not expect to see her. And this gives me a little bit of hope that maybe we'll see like the rest of our Nekoma people, because I really want to see my Nekoma boys so bad. I want to see Liev. I want to see Kuro. I know a lot of people, a lot of us in the fandom want to see Kuro like so badly. Trust me, I am there with you guys. I really want to see my Nekoma boys, and hopefully now that we saw Akane, maybe that'll be like, you know, an end to seeing where the rest of our Nekoma boys are at. Maybe she'll give us some insight. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next few chapters, but I really want to see where my Nekoma boys are at, because I miss them so much. So anyway, I think that is it for me for this video. I know again that it was all over the place. I had a lot of things to say, and on top of that, I just read this chapter today as I'm filming this. Just because I didn't have time on Sunday or yesterday, which was Monday. So yeah, anyways, I'm rambling on too much, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my ramblings as always regarding this week's chapter of Haikyuu, and I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy out there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!